Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to have from your drama or maybe have from your baby mama. Just kidding. Y si tú quieres cambiar tu vida, if you want to change your life, then subscribe. Ching, ching. And by the way, fans, I just published a book called Shabbat in Chicago. It's about an audacious single mom who opens her heart and home to five adopted kids while embracing her Latino culture while being Jewish. And today I had to bring her back on the show. Get up for my boy, Chino. Let's go. Woo!
What's up? What's up? Thanks for having me back, Yaakov.
I had to, fans. So for those who don't know, last week we were supposed to do an episode, me and my boy. And I'm not gonna lie, I had technical issues. I've been using my mic for like 2.5 years, maybe three, and I've never had this issue. And I was like, my boy's like, yo, it sounds like it's echoing. Like I can't really hear you. And I was so disappointed. The moment I unplugged the microphone, it worked, the computer screen, like it was working. He could hear me. And we literally did a whole episode together without recording. It was
With
just
no
crazy.
audio.
Yeah, no audio.
Terrible audio. We got to redo it. We got to redo it.
Yeah, and I'm happy I took your advice. You're like, it's not, I don't think it's your computer or Zoom, it's the mic. And I'm happy that we figured that out because I was freaking out, bro. I couldn't sleep. I was like, I gotta make sure this works for my boy. So thank you. Thank you for, giving me some advice, brother. I really appreciate that.
Anytime, my man. So what is this, like number 7 for me or something? Seventh time being on the show or something? I don't even know what
I
number. I
think it's
lost
been
count.
more. I think it's been more.
Been
I
more.
think I've been like at least maybe 12, 15 times, I think.
Damn. God damn. Why you keep bringing me back, man? Ain't no one want to hear what I got to say.
Brother, but you're my homie, man. Like we go way back. You don't understand. I feel like because of the podcast, we got more closer. And
Oh,
like,
for sure. For sure.
you introduced me to Ruby, and like other people. So I feel like you definitely have like the voice for like podcasting. And brother, I gotta tell you, man, still, let's talk about you. Like that's the dopest catchy name. And just the fact that you have the music like in the middle of the freaking episode is wild, bro.
Yeah, man. I haven't released an episode in over a year, dude. I've been taking a long break. It's you got me breaking out the microphone, so maybe I'll scratch the itch again pretty soon. Just been busy, dude, working a lot, so it's hard to keep it maintaining. So props to you for, keeping it going all these, all this time because I started my podcast, I think after yours.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but yours has just been going on for like what, 2 years now? More?
Yeah. Actually, 3 years. I just hit three
Wow.
years.
That's incredible. And props to you. It's a lot harder for, for at least for me, I found it really difficult to maintain it. And but I mean yours is a pure video podcast. Mine was pure audio. So uh yeah, it's just different. It was different circumstances, but who knows? Maybe I'll come back.
Yeah, come back, brother. We want you back. And if you need another guest, I'll come back, re-enter in the show, bro. Just for my boy, because you've done it for me so many times. It's an honor.
I appreciate you, man.
But look, brother, I want to talk about a movie that I grew up with, and now they made like a really cool new movie that just came out, Godzilla versus King Kong. Now, for those who don't know, Godzilla's been around for a minute. I grew up when the first movie came out, 2001, Godzilla.
That's not the first movie. Let's be respectful here. You're talking about the first American movie, maybe.
American movie, yeah, first American.
Because it's been a Japanese classic for for years, since like the 40s, I think.
That's true. That's true. I take it back. I take it back, y'all, because there is a Godzilla versus Metal Godzilla in the old, back in the days.
Yeah, Godzilla's been around before you and me.
Yeah, that's true. I used to have the toys, but when I saw the Godzilla movie, the one in New York, for me, that was the best movie. Like as a kid, they even made a cartoon based of that movie.
Oh
I don't
yeah, the
remember.
cartoon was lit. The cartoon was lit on Fox Kids.
Yeah, yeah, you remember? So that's what I'm saying. I love that movie. So my boy,
Aging ourselves, brother.
right, right. I'm getting old too. So my brother, he called me Tony. He's like, "Hey, brother, we gotta go see this movie. I got you a ticket." I'm like, "For real?" So we
Godzilla
get
versus
in.
Kong or the original Godzilla?
Oh no, the King Kong versus Godzilla, the new
Okay, the
one.
one that just came out. Okay.
Right. So we go see it. I'm excited, bro. I'm like, I want to see a lot of fighting. And I get there, and brother, I'm like, man, King Kong is like fighting these like weird monsters. But that was a cool scene. I gotta say, the beginning was cool. Um, I just wish we could have saw more of like Godzilla and King Kong in the beginning. Why they can't be in the same planet? Just a little bit more like either a little rewind from the past or something. I think that'd be cool, like a recap, and then dive into. Because I'm gonna be real with you, the graphics were cool. King Kong did look smaller than Godzilla. I don't know if they shrunk him because he did look smaller, and I just felt like Godzilla and King Kong should have had fights at least three times in the whole movie.
Yeah. So let me, if you don't mind me, just bring this back. So, when the first Godzilla came out, not the 2001 American one that you're talking about, but I'm talking about the Godzilla from this world where Godzilla and Kong are in.
Yeah,
I think it was like 2014 when that one came out, right? Like when it came out, that was a lit movie. Like it was really good in terms of, it took place in the modern world and there was like imagine Godzilla, this really happened, right? And there was like military and all this craziness and he was destroying the city and the military is fighting it. Dope movie. And then a few years later they come up with Kong Skull Island, right? Takes place in like the 1920s, early 1900s, right? It's again real world. People come into this island on helicopters. They stumble upon King Kong. Decent movie, right? It's no Peter Jackson King Kong from 2005. That one is the best, but
classic.
it's not that one, right? But it's a decent movie. And then at the end of that movie, they realize, oh, it's taking place in the same universe because there's a picture of Godzilla in the cave or whatever, right? And then Godzilla versus Kong comes out, right? Well, actually, Godzilla, King of the Monsters comes out, but it was a decent movie. But then it was Godzilla versus Kong, right? The matchup everyone's been waiting for, right? Godzilla versus Kong. So in that movie, even that movie was decent enough, right? Like they're fighting each other and just, and then at the end of it, they team up, right? I'm sorry, spoiler alerts, right? So when this new one came out, I was like, what else can they do, right? Like they build up these two characters, they put them against each other, and now if you notice, it was Godzilla X Kong, so Godzilla and Kong. So that told me they're on the same team, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll go watch the movie. Let me tell you, it is the biggest disappointment I've seen. That shit was whack. Okay. Now I will give them this. The visuals were awesome, right? Like it looked great, right? Like you seen it on a big screen, you watch it in Dolby Vision, right? Or IMAX. Looks cool. I did not give a fuck about any of the people in the movie, right? For a second there, when the movie was going on, I thought I was watching Planet of the Apes, and I was like, wait, don't Planet of the Apes come out next month? I'm confused, right? There's so many different like, apes and stuff in the movie now and showing like King Kong's background, right? To your point, they made King Kong look so small in his like world. I guess and it took to the point at the end of the movie where Godzilla and Kong are fighting each other in the real world, like not their underworld thing, but like their real world, that you can finally see the magnitude of how big these characters are, right? Because when they're just in their own world, they look like, normal sized people. Um, but yeah, man, it just looks so fake. I couldn't believe anything that was going on in terms of like, this underworld and this other dimension and all this other stuff. It's like, how did we get there? You know what I mean? I understand they want to keep making movies, they want to keep milking it, but it is just like I just not give a shit about any of the characters, including Kong and Godzilla,
Yeah.
right? And I think what hurt them was a few months ago, Godzilla minus one came out, right? The Japanese version. Incredible movie. That is how you make a Godzilla movie. I gave a fuck about the people. Like I was like invested in their lives. You know what I mean? And the
Wow.
Godzilla in that movie was made with so little money, and they made Godzilla look so much better than this American Godzilla. That the people who made this Godzilla versus Kong should be ashamed of themselves, man. Because that's over $100 million budget movie. These guys had only 15 million. They made Godzilla look better. Like
Wow.
it's ridiculous. It's just about caring. Some people like to put movies out there just to put movies out there and make money, and there's some people who care about the craft, right? The Japanese, they care about the craft. The American, Garbage. Just garbage. It's all about the money. And they made good money and they're
Yeah.
gonna make another one, but I'm not gonna see it because I'm done. I'm done with that franchise. It's like it's just so bad. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I apologize if anyone really liked the movie. I just thought it was trash.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. So I grew up, I've always mentioned this. I think I mentioned to you last time from a while back. The best versus movie of all time that they should copy and see their style of film is Freddy versus Jason. The best,
Freddie Jason.
you know what I'm saying? I had to bring the classics. That movie is the best when it comes down to verses because the story is great. The action is constantly like they're fighting at least 5 or 6 times throughout the movie, and it's two different worlds, right? And you want to see that to stay awake. I'm not gonna lie, there's a part in Godzilla and King Kong. There's too much dialogue. I don't know if you noticed that in the beginning,
I don't care about any of the people talking. Like
right?
there was a scene in the movie with the girl where they're in the cave or whatever, and there's three lines on the wall. Three, vertical lines. One, two, three. And she tells this whole story of Godzilla's life in the King Kong, I'm sorry, King Kong's life and his background. And I'm like, how the fuck did you get a 30-minute monologue of three lines? That makes zero sense. At least they took the audience as idiots.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I really thought, yeah, they could have done a lot better. I'm with you. And Godzilla, the only thing I could say that was cool about Godzilla is that his whole crystal in his back, his spine, turned from blue to pink. I thought that
That
was
was
pretty
cool.
cool.
I'll give him that. And like you said, I think the visuals were good. I'll give him that, right? Like it's cool to
Yeah,
see monsters fight, right? And sometimes people want a simple movie, just want
yeah,
to see people fight, right? And so, again, not trying to disrespect anyone who really liked it. If you liked it, great. That's the thing about film, right? It's subjective. Everyone has their own opinion, right? But to me, I like a movie where I care about characters, and I just didn't care about anyone, right? And I just want to say one more point about the movie. So you know the dentist in the movie, the white guy who comes down and takes King Kong's tooth out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What a total ripoff of Peter Quill from Guardians of the Galaxy. Are you gonna tell me they didn't steal this whole monologue from Guardians of the Galaxy? Right, coming down in his spaceship, hanging out, playing his music, dancing while he's doing his work. That is Peter Quill. That's Star Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. They stole the whole damn thing, right? And then again, how are we in this world? Like again, just remember Godzilla 1, modern world, military, guns, tanks, jets, and now we're in the spaceships that, or these arms that can just fall on King Kong's hands and make a glove. What the hell are we doing here?
Oh man, dude, I did not notice that. Like, you definitely hit a point that I missed throughout that movie, like where they took that from.
Yeah, that is exactly Guardians of the Galaxy. That is exactly what they did. This stole James Gunn's work right there.
Whoa,
It's
that's wow.
plagiarism.
Yep, yep. Copy and paste, copy and paste. So look, there's another point I forgot to mention. In the middle of the movie where God King Kong goes to like the a different world dimension and he meets the little monkey or
Oh
little
yeah,
ape, that was probably the best highlight for me of the movie because that little monkey, so that little monkey part, I gotta say was the best highlight because it reminded me of Chucky. You know, I'm a big fan of
oh
Chucky.
my god.
Just the fact that little monkey was like so funny and trying to be tough with King Kong. And then at the end, when they're going to bring or go to Godzilla World, little King Kong brought the axe, remember? And I was like, yo, that's the best. For me, he reminded me of Chucky. I don't know why. Just a little guy, coolest thing ever. I don't know. That was probably the best part of the movie.
You like that? Yeah, no. I'm okay. I can do without it. I can do without the whole, hammers and gloves and it's just I just want to see a real monster movie. And that wasn't it, So, whatever. Planet of the Apes is coming out, next month and that's a franchise I really like. The last three, the trilogy were really good, so I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully it's just much better than Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, yeah. That graphics looks for the Planet of the Apes looks amazing. It looks like a whole different level. When I saw the trailer for the first time on the IMAX, I felt like I was watching the actual movie of Planet of the Apes. It's the coolest thing ever. But look,
Oh yeah, it
brother,
looks good.
I gotta bring up one movie that is been talked about everywhere. And you know we both like Key and Peele. So this movie was huge, right? Monkey Man. I wanted first, I want to hear your
Let,
thoughts.
Now let's talk about a real monkey movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to your point, Monkey Man was it's a movie that's written directed by Dave Patel, right? So the guy from Slumdog Millionaire. He hasn't had many movies since, right? So I was, doing some research on the movie because that's what I like to do. I like to watch film and then I like to just, study it or just find out the story of it, right? And it's not based on his real life or anything like that, but the story of the Monkey Man, right? I forget how they say it in the movie, because it's an Indian, but uh it's a story he grew up hearing, right? So he wanted to make a movie based off that. And so, it's crazy that you put your everything into a movie. Like it's his project, right? He directed it. And so like he broke his hand, he broke his wrist making the film, all this stuff, right? And at the end of it, when he was done, Netflix bought the rights and it was gonna be a direct to streaming movie, right? And then Jordan Peele saw the movie and he bought it from Netflix because he wanted to put it out in theaters because he thought it was good enough to go in theaters, right? So although Jordan Peele is tied to it, but what he really did was just give us the opportunity to see it on the big screen, right? Gave Dev Patel an opportunity to present his work to a larger audience, right? Netflix is great and all, but there's nothing like watching a movie in the theater, right? So but really, all the credit needs to go to Dev Patel because this is his life project, right? He spent like 10 years trying to put this thing together. And so let me tell you, I went to go see Monkey Man, right? Not really knowing what it's about. I thought it was an underground fight movie, and in a way it is, right? But Monkey Man was really good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite movie in the world, but it was really good. Like the whole time I was hooked. I was into the story, right? Takes place in India. This without trying to put spoilers out there, but this guy who's been going who had a rough childhood, right? Had a hard time growing up, and some things happened in his life that he has held on to as he became a man. And now that he's in, he's a man and he's an older person, he has one thing on his mind, and that's revenge. And then the story goes from there, right? And he's a fighter in the underground world, right? He's fighting, and he takes this this character based on a story that his mother told him when he was a kid, and he took that persona, and I don't know, it was just really good. It's like John Wick, the Indian version, right? That's what it reminded me of, right? And it was actually really well done. The action scenes were really good. The camera work was really good. It had that like POV and shakiness to it. I thought that was really good. I think his acting, his ability to portray himself, was realistic to me. And the I was cracking up laughing. Where like he had his buddy Alfonso, I think his name was. So and he called him what was his name? Bobby. So it was just a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I recommend it for anyone, especially if you like action movies, you like movies about revenge and things like that. It's really well done, really well put together, and I just recommend it for anyone who wants to see it.
That's deep, brother. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I think so. When I saw the Monkey Man, right, I was super excited. My boy, the same guy, my homie Tony, he invited me to see this movie. We go see it. I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. I'm gonna tell you the pros and cons with the movie.
Okay, okay, yeah, go for it.
I honestly thought it was gonna be like John Wick, brutal action, right? Pa 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 pa.
Hmm.
Like every second. The intro, I love the intro because it's a moment where him and his mom are talking, right? And I don't know if it's in Hindi, but it was a beautiful dialogue. Just learning about their culture and like, it was a cool moment. And when we left there, I think that they could have like skipped or cut out a lot in the like after that part. Like I wish they kind of started where he's practicing in the bag, you know, and like he's training, right? And remember he's at like that temple and that's where he get like his powers or stuff. Like he learns so yeah, so I feel like if he was hitting the bag and we see his progression from training in the temple, that would have been a cool shot. And then like him going to the cage, losing a lot of fights, going back to the temple, getting stronger, kind of see that like growth. but I
But
felt
I feel like they do that though. Like it's in a good way, right? Like because he goes because his first intention when he's in the ring is just to make money. He's only
yeah,
there to make money, right?
right, right.
And so he's taking the ass beating of a lifetime all the time because he's just going there. He's fighting, but he's there to make money, right? But it's later on where he, to your point, goes to the temple and he really truly trains. That way you can see his progression. Like that's I like that where you look at him and you say, hey, this is a guy with real no purpose, really, right? Who's lost in his life. Then he goes to the temple, finds his point, his purpose, trains, and then comes out on top. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
that's really, I liked it, but again, film subjective.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it was too slow. It was too slow, brother. I'm not gonna lie. I did fall asleep halfway in the movie.
Ah, la
I
ver.
was like, dude, I was like, brother, the movie, like, and I know people are gonna hate, but it's just, it gotta be action. Pop, pop, pop. Like, I just need to see more action. Now, coming from somebody who studied and watched Some Dog Millionaire so many times, it did feel like a continuation of that movie. Because you remember in Some Thug
No,
Millionaire? No, no, but like, hear me, hear me. So in Some Thug, you remember he's running away from the bad guys?
yeah.
So in this movie, it feels like he's older, he's more mature, and he's fighting them. It's kind of like it feels kind of connected, even though the two stories are different.
Well, I do see the similarities in terms of like setting, right? Because they both take place in India and things like that.
Yeah.
But like, and some of it's fast paced, so I get that part. But just because of Dev Patel, I don't think it's a follow. It's a follow up. Same guy, but
Yeah, yeah. No, but it felt like that. It felt like that. Like in a way, it felt like, oh, my boy's back. He's getting his revenge because they don't believe him that he knows all the questions. You know what I'm saying?
stupid.
But
So
yeah,
you,
that was my intake, brother. I
so
gotta
you
be
didn't like it?
sorry, sorry. Like
Don't tell me you thought Godzilla vs Kong was better though.
no, they were man. So it's just two different genres, right? I felt
Yeah,
like
for sure.
you know, Monkey Man could have done a lot better. I'm telling you, with more action. That's the best way to gravitate people is great action and story. If you had like if they would have kind of keep it kind of like John Wick, not his style, but like you know what I'm saying? Like John Wick, you can bring any parent to watch that movie, John Wick, and they'll stay up and watch it.
Yeah, and again, that's if you really like action. Like I'm an action guy, right? I like action movies, but I like movies with character development, right? And so John Wick, the first one I enjoyed, right? But after that, it just became pure action, which is good. I still saw every single one. I still liked every single one, right? But sometimes I wish I saw more out of the character John Wick, right? Like really all I've been watching was Keanu Reeves kicking ass every day, right? Like every minute of every day. So, and which is cool, but again, I would like to see character development, which I think Monkey Man has more of than John Wick.
I
But
see.
that's me. That's my taste. I like to
Okay.
see like storylines and stuff. So,
I feel you know they're making a TV show with John Wick.
oh yeah, it's no, it's already out. But it's not like a John. It's like based off John Wick, but it's not Keanu Reeves, and it's like the Continental Hotel
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
series on Peacock, I think.
Oh, it already came out?
Yeah, it already came out. I haven't seen it, but yeah, I think it's already out. It's like before John Wick and all that, like the history of that hotel and the agency and all that stuff.
Wow. Do you think that's real, brother?
What?
Like that hotel? Like something like that in real life?
Nah, I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe not to that extent. There's got to be something like it, but not to
Yeah.
like that extent. I don't. I think it's a little exaggerated.
For real?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they're. I mean, I don't know. I'm somewhere in the middle.
Dude, that would be so crazy, man. That's just this is crazy stuff, bro. Crazy, crazy world, man.
Oh,
I
for
was gonna
sure.
ask you something like, have you seen like any like spooky or horror films? Because I know you and I were big in horror. Like, have you seen anything lately or
You
recently?
know, I used to really like horror films. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of like just kind of found a lot of them stupid. I know it sounds like just being harsh all day today, but like I just find a lot of them dumb. And then, as I've gotten older, like some of these like films that have to do with like exorcisms and demons and things like that, I'm not really about them. They're not my thing. Not really because I'm scared or anything, but like, you know. I don't know. I just don't like opening myself up to that type of stuff, right? Like saying like allowing. I'm really big on like hey, things can happen to you if you allow them to happen to you, right? Like if you open yourself up to them. So if you're gonna fuck around with like spirits and demons and like exorcism and shit, you're just I think you're doing yourself a disservice, right? So I really stopped watching those things. Like I used to, I watched The Exorcist, Emily Rose, the original Exorcist, right? I used to watch the Exorcism movies, but then that last movie came out, which like a year ago, right? Like the continuation of The Exorcist. A few years ago, I would have gone seen it. Now, I don't want to open myself up to it. Like, I just don't think it's good for like my soul. You know what I mean? Like, I
Oh,
personally feel that, so I won't watch it, right? But I actually have gone to scene one, which I kind of broke my own rule. Was last like a few weeks ago, because my girlfriend was like, "Oh, let's go see it," and I was like, "All right, fine." And it was called uh, "Live with the Devil" or "Tonight with the Devil,"
oh, is
something
it
like
good?
that.
Is it good?
Have you heard? You know what I'm talking about? It
No,
just
no,
came out.
I haven't heard about it.
So it's an interesting movie. It's very it's different, right? The way it's put together. It takes place in like think of late night TV, right? Think of Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or somebody like that. This guy has a late night show that's starting the ratings are starting to drop, and he's trying to keep it alive. And he has one episode on Halloween night, just about people who can do crazy things. And he invites this woman and this little girl who's apparently going through like exorcisms or it's been taken over by some type of demon, and so he invites him on the show and things just start going crazy. It's interesting. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite. I wouldn't say it's the worst. It's somewhere in the middle. um it's different in the sense of it's pretty cool. Like imagine, like I can imagine myself sitting on the couch watching TV, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna watch tonight episode of Jimmy Kimmel," and then seeing some crazy shit happen on his show, like that wasn't scripted and things like that. Um, but some of the visuals I could have done without. Like some of it was a little, I don't know. I was looped into the movie until they really started doing the visuals, like they put, like the CGI part of it and stuff, and that kind of took me out. At that point, I was like, okay, this is stupid. At some points, right? But I mean, I think in terms of storyline and what it all means, I thought was pretty well put together. The main actor, I forget his name. He's done a good amount of movies. He did a really good job, right? His character, like as things were going downhill, and he starts realizing like, oh man, this is real. Like this girl's really possessed and things like that, right? Like instead of, calling it off and letting everyone go home and get out of there, he wants to keep it going because he knows more people will watch, right? So it's like greediness in every form of the way, right? Like he's really greedy. He wants the attention and stuff without caring for everyone else. Um, and they reference a lot of like I forget what this thing's called. Something in like California with like the higher celebrities and stuff, the Illuminati, things like that, where you sell your soul to the devil for like fame and fortune.
Ooh,
Um, so yeah, it's a decent movie. So that's the last one I've seen. But before that, I haven't seen one in a while. I'm just not into them all that much anymore.
brother, there's one show you have to watch. You know which one I'm gonna say. You
Don't
ready?
say Chucky, bro.
Yes, Chucky, brother. It's Chucky. Because look, brother, I don't know if you saw the first season, but there's three
No,
seasons now. And I'm gonna be honest, just like you know how you're very big into Rocky, the movies, and you've seen
love
all of them.
Rocky.
You even
All
seen
of them.
Creed, right? You even seen
All of
Creed.
them. All
Okay,
of them.
so
Multiple times.
right, so look at this. So if you watch the Chucky films one more time, just letting you know, the whole seven, all the characters in all these movies are in the TV show season one, two, and three.
What do you mean all the characters? Like all the human characters
The human characters
from the movies?
from the
Yeah, I
movies,
guess it's if you like the Chucky series, so you know what I mean? Like I would watch, Creed because I would have some of the Rocky characters because I love Rocky, right? In
right?
terms of Chucky, I only really like Child's Play 1, the original. Other than that, I mean, I've seen like maybe the two after that, but I don't know. Chucky became really silly, and that's my own opinion to
Okay,
me.
so
But some people love that, right? You love that.
look, you're right. It did get silly. After we pass four, it gets silly. Like number five is the silliest one. But when you watch six and seven, he brings it back to horror. There's no more like comedy. Brings it back to horror.
I mean,
Now
that's what it should be,
it
right?
should be
I mean,
right.
that's what it was. Yeah.
So, but season one, bro, when we get to season one, he took all his feedback from commentaries from audience and saw that most people like Child's Play 2. And so what he did was, because that's the scariest one, he took that one and made it into this, a season where it's basically like scary horror. Brother, he did so well job as a director and like producer, like crazy. The show made so much money, more money than when he made like his last two films. The fact that, and here's the thing, coming about talking about multiverse, the fact that he brought two different generations in the seven
No,
films,
and that's cool. I think that's cool.
that's dope. Bringing them in the show,
Hmm.
and you got the original Chucky actor voice to do all three seasons. The new season is out. It came out 2 weeks ago, and brother, I'm telling you, if you give it a chance, you would tell me, brother, they got better.
Maybe I don't know. I saw the new one that they did, like the reboot
Yeah,
with like
Mark
it's
Hamill.
with who?
Mark Hamill.
Oh, did he play the voice of
Yeah, yeah,
Chucky?
yeah. He
That
did
one?
it.
Okay. So Mark Hamill, shout out Luke Skywalker. Um so what's the actress name too? Damn, I'm
Audrey,
blanking.
Audrey
Audrey
Plaza.
Plaza. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that one. I thought that one's pretty decent. I enjoyed that one. That was pretty decent. It was a retelling of that story. Um, but yeah, I have not. I don't know. I can't get myself to watch Chucky. Maybe if we're hanging out, and you're like, hey, let me put this on. Maybe, but other than like me just sitting at home saying, let me watch something, it's probably not going to be Chucky. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Just give it a chance. Can you please just give it a chance? Watch. How about
But
this?
you
How
see,
about
I'm
this?
not gonna know any of the characters like you do. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, that's Andy. I don't know what he looks like now.
So look. If you watch the last two, don't watch the sixth one, the fifth one that is so much comedy. You started with 6 and 7, and you dive into the show. They will recap where we left off from 6 and 7.
All right.
Just give it a
We'll
chance.
see.
Give it a chance. I'm telling you, brother, you're gonna say it's probably the best horror film to watch. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. But look, let's wrap it up. It looks like Zoom is about to kick us out. Guys, this is the Outlet to Reality, the oldest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching ching. Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat's Take One Pass It, and my TikTok is at Yaakov28. And brother Chino, where can my fans find you?
If you want to find me, just search my name. I'm not too hard to find. But hey, Yaakov, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Always like jumping on the pod, talking with you, especially anytime you want to talk film about it. So uh, I'm all about it.